Hey there, how's it going? What's up, everybody? Irish Orangutan is here to pass along what you need to know to get better at Madden and grow your MUT team. Enjoy the show. This Saturday morning, I want to bring you a quick video about the legends that came out today and a few of the Super Bowl standouts that came out on Friday. I also want to share my selection of red or blue and why you should choose that too. So stay tuned. The first man we're going to be looking at is Beast Mode for Team Blue. He is 91 speed, but the things that really stand out for him are his trucking and carrying, both of which are over Ricky Williams. He is a smaller power back, which sets him back a little bit, but with his name, a considerable amount of people are going to want to go out and get him and just use him to go and get those touchdowns from 1 yard out at the end of their games. So make sure you go out and get him and make those good decisions for yourself. Next, for Team Blue, we have John Elway. We have him later in his career, so he does not have the throw power that you would kind of expect from a John Elway card. He is probably the best deep thrower of the ball in the game when you power him up. If you have the Coach Madden and go deep, you can get the deep accuracy and throw power to 99. It just doesn't come stock with a 98 or 97 throw power that you'd kind of expect from a John Elway card. It is kind of fitting as this is when he won his Super Bowl. It was kind of late in his career when he had that helicopter run at the end of that game. So I feel as if this is fitting. All Broncos fans have to be overjoyed to go out and get him. If he gets his power up throughout the rest of the year, I assume his throwing power will get considerably better. As you can see, Mahomes is comparable to him. His throw on the run's a little bit better, but everything else is either matched or overdone by Elway. Elway's a wonderful choice if you don't have your quarterback yet, but the Michael Vick, again, has the speed on him, so that's always something to think about as well. Franco. Do Franco next. Franco compared to Franco. And the running back for the blue team out front of Marshawn Lynch is Franco Harris. He has tremendous speed for a fullback along with that carrying. His lead block is now to the point when you power him up, you can get lead the way. He is not quite the run blocking fullback that you kind of need for I form teams, but if you're running him out of split sets out of shotgun or need him to block in passing downs, he's great at that. He also can play tight end very well. He can do all of those things out in the open field that kind of scare defenses and make them strafe and go back a little bit and give you those 5 extra yards. So he is someone to consider for an upper level team. If you are not an upper level team, maybe go with another one of the choices that we'll be talking about, but he can add that little extra something something to your team. He's probably just not something or someone that you would want to build around considerably. And the last man for Team Blue that we'll be looking at is Reggie White. As you can see, his in the trenches stats are all absolutely phenomenal. His play recognition is top notch as well. His speed is a little bit lacking for kind of a hold the edge sort of player. If you're having him out there just in a 4-3, if you put him at defensive tackle, he's one of the best defensive tackles, if not the best in the game. As you can see, his power move is already at 97. It doesn't need to even have the top pass rushing chems to be able to get into the quarterback. So that's something to think about as well. He really is phenomenal. He's the last player I wanted to talk about for Team Blue because he is kind of the name and the player that most people would probably want to go out and get if you're going for Team Blue. The first player I wanted to look at for Team Red was Malcolm Butler. He is really a great cornerback for 95 overall. His speed is a little bit lacking, but as you can see, it's right up there with Pat Pete, and even his agility is really, really good. At 5'11, he's a little bit shorter, so in the slot might be a better consideration. Just have him keep up with that Tyreek Hill that everyone likes to put there. His zone and man are both top notch. If you have Madden Pass D and also Lockdown, you can also get those to 99 really, really easily if you have them powered up. So it's someone you might want to consider, to be honest. And he's probably not going to be going for the most coins, but he'll play like a top-notch quarterback. So if you need a lockdown cornerback, this might be the man that you want to go out and get. At right end for the red team, we have Trey Flowers. For his position, his speed is not terrible. It is not the best for locking down the edge, but his block shedding and power moves kind of make up for that. Also, he has great acceleration and decent strength. He plays really well in the Patriots' amoeba defense. He actually would fit pretty well in my defense. Also, I do have Myles Garrett, who kind of does everything he does better, so he's probably not going to make my team, especially since I have a couple of Redskins even behind him and maybe even Jason Taylor behind them. But if you are a Patriots fan or someone who likes to run some 3-4 zone blitzes, things like that, he is a player that you might want to go out and grab. At tight end for the red team, we have Dallas Clark. His speed is just a little bit behind elites like George Kittle, but his route running stats make up for that. He can go out and grab any pass that you want him to. He does have a little bit lower strength and run blocking, which is the negative mark on him. If those would be in the 80s, 85 range, I would probably go out and grab him for my team, to be honest. I always enjoyed watching him and Peyton Manning, but just with those stats being a little bit lower and myself liking to run the ball a lot and get the ball down the field when I don't, he's probably not going to be a player that I get. If I try to do a little bit more of passing the ball short and just quick out routes and things like that, Dallas will definitely be a player that I go out and grab. I'll probably have to do something different than Michael Vick. Next time Mahomes gets an upgrade, that might be a player that I would go out and grab and just run a little bit more of a West Coast scheme. Now I have a little bit more of a run and gun, and Henry and Kittle and Walker fit a little bit better for that right now. And the other side of the field at cornerback, we have Rondé Barber. Looking at his stats compared to even 97 Champ Bailey that I have powered up on my team, they look very favorable. Once you do a little bit of chemming up, his man coverage and zone coverage will be very close to the 98 and 99 overall, excuse me. Was thinking that man coverage might not be able to get there, but that should be able to get to 99 as well if you have the right Madden chems. His jumping and height are a little bit of the negatives on him, but his ability to play the run along with his great passing stopping stats are absolutely phenomenal. He is actually someone that I might consider for my team as well, as his player gets a little bit cheaper, because I should be able to chem him up and get him to 99 overall. The last man we will be discussing for the Super Bowl standouts is Rodney Harrison. He is, I would say, the best strong safety in the game. Sadly, he does not have the power up to give him some of the extra things that you would want, especially if you are a Chargers fan. But just looking at his stats, he's top notch. I've been rocking Amos forever, and he's played really well for me. And this is a little bit disheartening to see, but Harrison is an upgrade pretty much in every stat category that you can see here. I did see that Rodney Harrison's traits were a little bit weak. I can't remember who that was. I'm sorry, I cannot say that person's name. Very possible director. But I wish you all the best going out and getting him. Again, sadly, he does not have the power up, but he is a phenomenal player out at that position. Now that we've talked through the players that are some of the standouts for the red and the blue team, I'm actually going to make my selection and kind of go through why I am choosing that. I really want to have Reggie White now with his 94 overall and have him rock out potentially at a deep tackle position. I feel as if he's the only player that would actually play on my team at this time. I also really want Franco Harris later. He would be that extra addition to my team that I really want. I have other players at all the other positions that really fill in. I have also invested in Franco, so blue team is going to be who I go with. Another reason that I am going with the blue team is because I don't think I've heard another person that creates content actually say that they're going for the red team. So having the extra bonus of the 1-up bump after February 1st is going to be a huge plus for me as well. First, we have Larry Fitzgerald. I'm excited to see him get an upgrade. It is a little bit strange to see current legends getting these upgrades on Saturdays. It would be cool to see them potentially have cards come in on Mondays and get actual legends at this point in time, but that is not, excuse me, that is not EA's opinion at this point. So there is nothing that we can really do about that. It's just exciting to see these players in the game, so I'm just going to be happy that they are. He does only have the 89 speed, which is a little bit weak. He is great at route running. He's similar to the Dallas Clark that we had looked at earlier, but he has some attributes that are a little bit weaker as well. His deep route running is not really where you want it to be, but you don't really want him running the deep routes anyway, and his speed just sets him back. But his jumping allows him to do everything at the goal lane that you want him to. If you're a Larry Fitzgerald fan or Cardinals fan, he's a great pickup, but he's just a little bit slow for most elite teams, so that might also keep his price down and allow a lot of other people to be able to go out and get him. Next, we have Cam Chancellor coming in at strong safety. He is an absolute thumper in this game with 98 hit power. You just power him up and you don't need to add a single chemistry, to be honest. He is wonderful at messing up the run game. I still see people before this power up having him in the game. It is really exciting to see this Cam Chancellor come in with a 91 speed. I feel as if him and Fitzgerald should have similar speeds, so maybe should have brought them both in at 90, but they probably didn't want to bring in that average that way. His man coverage is definitely weak, so if you run a zone scheme, he is perfect, but if you run a man scheme, you definitely need to reconsider in most regards. He is a wonderful addition to the squad out in Seattle and Legion of Boom. You just need to understand what scheme you are playing before you go out and pick him up. But if you need to stop the run and are playing zone, he's perfect for you. For the last and limited legend that we have Teddy Bruschi. He is another one of those linebackers that is a little bit lacking in speed, but has great overall stats pretty much everywhere else. Think of Brian Urlacher, and you have Teddy Bruschi. He again fits in with that Patriots scheme that he can do a little bit of everything. I probably wouldn't blitz him necessarily, but actually, let's go double check and make sure he's not phenomenal at that. So as you can see, he has the 80 and 74 finesse and power moves. So a little bit weaker than Ray Lewis, but he's at 98 overall. A lot better than Shazier, better than a Zach Brown, actually right in line with a Zach Brown, and better than Reuben Foster. So again, he can do a little bit of everything with the 90 zone coverage. I'd definitely drop him back. And 96 play rec, just drop him back and let him do something similar to what a Ray Lewis would do. Teddy is pretty much a poor man's Ray Lewis, but Ray Lewis is less expensive, so it's kind of a weird fit. Probably not going to fit on a lot of teams. He's going to be a unique fit for a few, so go out and get him and be sad that you can't cam him up the way that you want. but he'll be a great fit. If you have the Patriots cab, you'll be able to get his speed to where you want, but that's the only way that I would probably put him on your team. Thanks for stopping in. Let me know if you'll be getting any of these players in the comments below. And if you're going to be choosing the red or the blue team, as you can see, I have chosen sides. Let me know if you have chosen with me. Take care, everybody. Thanks for checking into the Irish Orangutan channel. Keep coming back to keep getting better at Madden and growing your MUT team. There will be at least 5 videos up a week, so make sure to like and comment on each of those. Be sure to subscribe to see them all. Come by Twitch to engage or hit me up on Twitter. Take care, everybody. Much love.